Hare Krishna. So we'll do Vanchkalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyayavasya Patitanam Pavaneve Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripadadham Bande Shri Gurum Dintaranam. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य ही दिवांगस श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ऋग्वेद खारदा मुनि प्रभु की जय। समल भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा devotees. So two of you don't live in St. Louis, but I think devotees who are in St. Louis, they know Kardama Muni Prabhu, and he passed away. He passed away just 2 days back. Prabhu was living in Chesterfield before he moved to Chicago, Naperville. And when I moved here from Dallas, I was looking for houses. Where can I find a place to live? And then my goal was to stay somewhere close to devotees. Wherever there is devotee house, I'll stay. So in this area, we have so many devotees in the neighborhood. Uh, on the same road as you come out, if you drive 9 miles, Mataji's house comes. Lal Gopal Prabhu is there. Then we have other devotees on my left and right. So all around we have devotees, in 10 square miles. And Karda Muni Prabhu was right on the, another street. So every evening when we go walk, we call him and then he would be, outside. I'll just go join him and then we'll have, chanting bag in our hand. We'll chant and, walk around. So Karda Muni Prabhu was very, nice, very sincere and very humble devotee. Whenever we, so after his moving from Chesterfield to Naperville, whenever we went there, we'll go to his house and we'll just talk like, 2 hours, 3 hours, just see each other and talk how we were spending our time in Chesterfield. So he departed and our temple has sent the email for his departure to notify all the devotees, and I'm sure we'll do something. Lalgopal Prabhu is working on it. We might do some kirtans or something for him. A very, very, powerful devotee. So I was just thinking about some of the, time that I spent with him, and I might feel a little bit, sad or emotional today as I'm going through the classes. But any spiritual activity that we do, it's for our benefit and for the benefit of other living beings. So I will pray. I'll request all of you to keep, that's why I'm showing you his picture. Please pray for him as we go through this class. And we are requesting Supreme Lord to give him the ultimate destination. Hope that he will go back to home, uh, back to Krishna. Very powerful, powerful devotees. His Grace Kardamuni Prabhu ki jai, 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 jai Kardamuni Prabhu. We all have to go through, this thing. This life is very fragile, Prabhu's Mataji's. You never know what will happen. Divya Mataji, are you there? That's you, right? DG.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I
Hare
got 5
Krishna.
minutes late.
Hare Krishna. So this session that we are going to start today, please don't worry too much if you are not getting everything. But also our goal is to understand some concept of the discussion that's going to happen. So we have titled this session Understanding the Meaning of As It Is Commentary. And in the picture, there are four books: Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? And then the Nectar of Devotion and the Nectar of Instruction and Shri Upanishad. So this is part of our introduction course for Bhakti Sastri. And I like little bit spending time, at least not to really make you kind of very conversant in the subject, but to inform you what are some of the guidelines, what are some of the key things that makes a commentary as it is commentary, as taught and given by our acharyas. So that's what we'll do. We'll have few slides to discuss this, and you can see, Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? So I had for sure uh, made comment in many classes that Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita is as it is, but I did not really understood the deeper meaning of what is basically as it is until I knew what is as it is. And when I knew it, for sure, it enhanced my understanding and awareness about why it's called as it is. So that's what we'll do. So you are seeing one beautiful verse here that's coming from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhulil. Again, you will say that Prabhu, you are doing the introduction course for Bhakti Sastri, and we are talking about Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that's why I requested that please don't really think that way. Just think that this is something for FYI. This is just for you to make aware and at least give you the understanding or some understanding, not complete, because I also don't have the complete understanding. But whatever understanding I have to make you understand what are the elements to make a commentary as it is. So the verse that we are seeing here, it says, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarva Asraya Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Artha Kaya. So Krishna Tulya Bhagavata, Bhagavata Vibhu. Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna. And Vibhu Sarva Asraya. And the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, is shelter of everything. So Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna. And that Supreme Lord is the shelter of everything. Prati Sloke, Prati Akshare. In each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nana Artha Kahe, Kaya or Kahe. In each and every syllable, there are various meanings. So when we look at a particular verse, now if we ask a devotee who is in a Brahmada Gauriya Sampradaya, they will give you one version of translation for that particular verse. And then if you talk to somebody who is from Ramanuja Sampradaya, they will give maybe a little different version, the translation. If you talk to somebody who is from Sankaracharya Sampradaya, Advaita Sampradaya, they would give you different versions. And if you talk to just a Sanskrit scholar who has understanding of Vibhakti and Anvaya and everything, that person will give you a very different meaning. So all of those meaning are correct, right? All of those meanings are correct because they are using their approach to understand. And as we know that when Krishna says something, for sure it has multiple level of understanding. Right? In one statement, Krishna satisfies everyone. So So that element is there. Technically, literally, whichever way you see, the sabda that we have in a particular verse has for sure different meaning. Like for example, Atma means soul. Atma means body also. You know, Atma sometimes refers to supreme soul also. So different places, Atma could have the different meaning. Atma somewhere refers senses also. So what exactly is the meaning that is taken in particular context? Different acharyas will take different meaning, and the meaning that acharyas will take is basically complying or aligning with the bigger goal that that sampradaya has. So the meanings, whatever meanings they take, the meanings are correct and meanings are accurate in a particular sampradaya as per the teaching of that sampradaya. So when Prabhupada said Bhagavad Gita as it is, one of the literal meaning of Bhagavad Gita as it is that it is aligning with the teaching, mood, and mission of Brahmada Gaudiya Sampradaya. But then we have to understand what are the teaching, what are the goals. It's aligning with the goals of Brahmada Gaudiya Sampradaya. So what is that goal? And that's what basically we'll try to understand. But before we get into that goal aspect, we'll see some examples that how a particular statement or particular verse will have multiple meanings. So that's what we'll do. Are we good so far, Divya Mataji? And I make sure that you are happy.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So far good.
Yes.
Divya Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm here.
I wanted to call you last week, but I forgot.
That's okay. We can talk after the class, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So where you live in Dallas? Where you are living?
I'm in Allen.
You are in Orlando. Okay. Okay.
Are you coming?
No, no, no. I just wanted to call you because some of our friends were there.
Okay.
So,
Plano is next, like very near.
yeah. Yeah. Everything is good.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji. So if you have anything, anytime you can ask. Okay.
Yes, I will call you after this class, Prabhuji.
So here is a beautiful, verse from Upanishad. Again, we have not seen this verse. Please forgive me for that. But I just wanted to give you some difference, in the translation given by two different acharya. So Om Purnam Adah Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Punasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. This is beautiful verse, right? And you can see. So Divya Mataji, can you read the translation? The
Yes.
personality of
Yeah, the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is complete soul, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
right. So this verse uses Om Purnam Adah Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Shishyate. So from Purnam, which is Krishna, Krishna is complete. So whatever happens, something added. In the math, there is a concept of infinite. And the infinite, the definition is technical definition is larger than how you are large. What is infinity? Larger than however large. So if somebody will say that uh, you know the water that contains in Ganges is infinite, But then somebody will say that's larger than many things larger that we know. But water in a ocean or sea is also infinite, right? So whatever larger, you will assume larger than that is infinity. So infinity is larger than anything large that we can, imagine. So Krishna is complete truth, complete truth. So he says that Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. So if something comes out of that Purna, it stays Purn. Purnasya Purnam Adaya. Or if something is being added to that complete truth, that stays complete. So that's how Srila Prabhupada is translating this verse. The personality of Godhead is perfect, is Purnam and complete. And because he's completely perfect, all emanations from him, anything that's coming out of him, such as his phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself because he is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanates from him, he remains the complete balance. Let's see what is the translation given by Baldev Vidyabhushan. Can somebody, Mataji, please read, Divya Mataji.
The unmanifest Brahman is perfect. The manifested Brahman is perfect. From the unmanifested Brahman appears the manifest Brahman as various avatars. When the manifested forms emerge from the unmanifest Brahman, the unmanifest Brahman remains.
So is it different or not? It's different, right? Literally, the way it looks very different, right? The way the words that Prabhupada is using, the way Prabhupada is translating, and Baldev Vidyabhushan is our Acharya, and the way he's translating is, a little different. Okay, we'll see some other example. This is the example from Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter. There are series of verses where Krishna is talking about what are different types of bhakti, and then he is saying that if you cannot do this, first he says that asmaranatmika bhakti. If you cannot do, then do mananatmika bhakti. He says that if you cannot do mananatmika bhakti, then you do abhyas rupa bhakti. So these are technical terms. So don't get too much into it, but just wanted to kind of give you the glimpse. Then it says that if you cannot do abhyas atmika bhakti, then you do kaya rupa bhakti, where you engage your senses in Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says that if you cannot do kaya rupa bhakti, then you do karya rupa bhakti. If you cannot do karya rupa bhakti, then he says that just follow the varnasam dharma. So there is like degradation, there is a gradation given. Here is what you have, is the goal. But if you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. Like that, it comes down. And verse number 12 talks about that. So Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasaj jnanad dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phala tyagas tyagat shantir anantaram. So that's how this verse is given. Now read the translation. So SP Srila Prabhupada translation. And our basically goal here is to just see, I'm hearing echo of myself, maybe. So our goal here is just to see the literal differences, not the, inner, alignment, but just the word by word as we go through, you will notice some differences. So that's the purpose. We are just taking this verse as an example, and we are trying to make the impact of some differences that you will see. So Srila Prabhupada, SP refers to Srila Prabhupada, SVCT is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and BVB is Baldev Vidyabhushan. Okay, so let's read these three translations, and you just pay attention to see, are they appearing to be word by word exactly the same, or are they appearing different? Meaning part we'll study once we come to this chapter. So don't worry for that. So Bhaskar Prabhu, can you read that, please?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Manana, is this the one?
If
Yes,
you
we,
cannot,
uh,
yeah, if you
okay,
cannot take
okay.
those,
If you cannot take this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Manana
yeah,
is
yes, now read.
okay. Manana is better than practice. Shreyo hi jananam abhyakshasi. But meditation is better than the manana. Janat dhyanam vishishyate. From meditation, one easily becomes detached from results of work in form of bhakti and mukti. Dhyana karma pala dhyahas. From this detachment, one finally attains lasting peace, absorbing senses in me. Dhyaga chanti anantaram.
So there is a difference, right? It looks different,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
yes.
The word, the technical term that is being used here, the way it is translated, must look different. Now read the last one, Prabhuji.
The realization of Atma is preferable to practicing remembrance of the Lord. Shreyohi janam abhyasat. But practice of meditation on Atma is preferable to realization of Atma. Janat dhyanam vishishyate. Preferable to practice of meditation is renunciation of results of work. Dhyana karma baladhyahat. From this detachment, one finally gets purity, absorbing senses in me. Jagachante anantaram.
Yeah. So all these three translations, right, are seemingly appears to be different. Is that right or not?
Yeah, the first one is like, it looks to be like, simple and easily understood, but the other two are like, very, very complicated to understand.
Yeah. Yes. So many technical word, right? Like
Yes.
manana. When I should know
Yeah.
what is manana, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then yeah, I can see that. You were right. Okay. So then, Prasad, what do you think?
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely. Manan, I take it as a Manan, as a non-Manan. I mean, it's again,
Yeah,
how,
it's manan.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But
Right.
yes, definitely the meaning of Manan, it get into different, how it's a kind of chanting or some kind of Manan. So
Right.
inside, internally, and it could be
Yeah.
different way. The meaning is
Yeah.
not very clear. Meaning should be very clear understanding. Like,
Yeah. Manan here is referring to mind, but yes.
yeah,
So seemingly it's different, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Right.
like Baldev Vidya Bhattacharya.
Bhushan. Uh-huh.
So he
Balde.
realization of Atma, he is relating to Atma. Now it's getting into different meaning now. Yeah. So he's talking more about Atma and practicing. Of course, practice is in everywhere. The common, Srila Prabhupada also talked about practice, but yeah, so few technical word is hard to understand. And not,
Mm. So Prabhu, at your house, wherever, whichever street you live, is there different way to get there, or
uh, the place where I am, if
yeah?
there is no, I mean, there could be a shortcut. There could be a kind of, if you come through a
But
car,
people from different part of the town can come to different, way, right?
there, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But their goal is to come to your house, so they will come ultimately,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So something like that, acharyas are basically explaining the meaning of particular verse, and we'll talk about that, why the differences we see. But the example that I gave just for the purpose to make it clear that as long as goal is clear, right? As long as the goal is clear, we can approach in different way too. If we are reaching at the same goal, and this could be taken in a very different way too. We're not talking about that difference. We are just talking about that some seemingly difference in the word that appears here is indeed not the difference as long as it meets the goal. So here is the slide. I don't want to get into this slide. When we go into chapter 12 and study the details that is presented there, we'll basically discuss this. But literally, if you see the translation of these verses, and if you really try to break them down and see what it's presenting, it says that Asmaranatmika Bhakti is the topmost. It's like Bhava or Prema type of Bhakti. And then Mananatmika Bhakti. And then Abhyas Rupa Bhakti. So this is the order. Then Kaya Rupa Bhakti, Kaya Rupa Bhakti is Karam Karma. So that's how it says basically. It's saying that, if you cannot do Asmaranatmika Bhakti, Krishna says, then you do Mananatmika Bhakti. Now the terms might be a little difficult. And if you cannot do Manan, then you do Abhyas. If you cannot do Abhyas, then you do sense control. If you cannot do sense control, then work for Krishna. And even if you cannot do that, then engage in the Varnashram Dharma. So the literal meaning of these statements are exactly the same. But the way you would hear, and we'll have to give some interpretation, but the way these verses or the translations are crafted, it gives this result. Okay, that is why sometimes it's always advise that study Shastra with devotees, with devotees and under the guidance of a devotee, so that we don't take the wrong meaning. So we are studying under the guidance of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is by default our Siksha Guru. So we are basically studying, trying to understand commentary given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or Baldev Vidyabhushan in context or on the basis of learning and understanding that we develop by learning from Srila Prabhupada. So this is the literal meaning that these verses are conveying, but it might appear a little different. And then this is just that's how the verses go. So from verse number 8 to 12, this flow is mentioned. Okay, but you are not, this is not something that is going to come in your exam, and you are not really preparing for that, so you don't have to worry. But I just wanted to kind of give you the idea that although seemingly the words are different, but it's conveying the message which are presented here. So in nutshell, they are not different. They are saying the same thing. Anybody has any doubt before I get to the next slide? So far, is it clear? The understanding is clear or no?
Yes, Prabhu, clear.
Can you go Prabhu, previous slide? There's different types of the bhakti, internal bhakti, external bhakti.
Yeah. So we'll talk these terms, this concept we are not trying to really learn right now. I'm just showing you the slide to say that this is what is being presented. The concept we'll learn when we come to Bhagavad Gita, which is going to be later, much later. But I'm just conveying the message that it might appear seemingly different, but the message that it conveys is the same. Okay. So that's the questions I had for clarification. That is it clear so far?
Clear, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Divya Mataji, is it clear?
Prabhuji.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Like each acharya is presenting in their own way, in their own realization, but the message conveyed is same.
Exactly, and that's basically the essence of entire presentation that we'll give. Exactly, you got it. You got to the result of it. Kalavati Mataji, you'd like to add something? What do you think about the whole thing?
No, Prabhu, you explained it nicely. So
Yeah, but you know a lot. So
no,
is it making sense or no?
yes, Prabhu. Good.
So what we'll do is that now, we'll try to understand, okay, so what are the benefits, right? First, we have to understand the benefit of Acharya's commentary and why the commentaries are made in a certain way. Okay. So very first item here is relevance. So we, all of us are preacher, right? Do you think that we can preach Krishna consciousness in same way as it was done 100 years back?
No way.
No way, right?
Yeah.
Bhaskar, we said no way. Why? You explain why.
We are not that much knowledgeable. Like 100 years back, like most other people are like very, very knowledgeable, and they are direct relations with all the scriptures and very knowledgeable persons. But
Yeah.
we are like just we're just reading something and we are trying to preach.
Yeah. So
We don't
people
have that.
at that time had a lot of knowledge, right? They knew.
Yeah.
They were more God
Yeah.
conscious, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Last class, Nadia Kishore Prabhu was giving class and he was talking about his childhood, how it was in his village. And I also remember, like just we had Holi, right? Holi would be, like such a big festival in my village where I was from. Now they don't do anything. I was asking my mom that how they do this is that people will just, eat and stay at their house. But before, there will be like group of people in the evening. They will have jhal, majira, dhol, nagara, everything. They will go door to door, and everybody's house they will basically sing, at some of the song that is mostly Lord Ramchandji pastime or Prahlad Maharaj pastime. It's like folklore type of song, and
Yeah.
then they will throw abir and so if they are singing at your house, then you will come with abir and some other kind of spices, nuts and other things mixed up, dry fruits, and everybody you put the abir on their depending on who they are. If they are senior, then you put at their feet. If they are of your age, then you basically put on their head, depending on who they, if there is a mataji, then you just put on their head, or like you have to know who is who. But that's how it happened, and it will start at like 11 o'clock and it will go all the way until next day, until like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So whole day, whole night people will sing and play. And now she was saying that the thing has gone now, nothing happens like that. People just, they don't even know that there is Holi happening. Some other people, they'll play color here and there, but it's really not. So yes, so at some point people were more aware and more engaged in the festivity. They knew more importance of it. Right now, not. So you made a good point. There was time where people had more knowledge about any festivity or festivals that we have. Okay, so Prabhu said that no way. I like that. I also think that it's not possible. What else? Any other?
Yeah, bro, I can add a little bit to it. So,
Yeah.
like it's human tendency, bro. Like again, if I convey one message to someone and someone conveys to someone conveys to, so originality, the way it get distorted and somewhere something kind of happen.
Ah,
But in our successor, the disciplic succession is still we know that we are teaching this coming through a proper channel, but I feel there could be somewhere it may get distorted here and there because the way I communicate, the way other communicate, eventually that could be another reason I'm just adding.
so communication has to be right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So so we have to focus, what the relevance of the time, the message that is being delivered has to be relevant. And you said communication. Prabhu said knowledge. Knowledge is very important because there is knowledge gap. Communication style has to be changed. What else? What else has to be different to make subject relevant? There could be many things, but I just want to hear some.
Knowing
In
your audience.
Knowing your audience, how much knowledge they have, who they are, if they are, foreigner versus coming from, Indian background, Vedic background. versus coming from somewhere where some Vedic, some foreigner influence. So you have to know the audience. Yes, audience you have to know, and knowing audience means you have to know their knowledge base. Yes.
In olden days, like not only the preachers are very sincere, even the disciples or the students are like very sincere,
Very sincere.
very sincere, very
Right.
relative, and they really wanted to know that knowledge. Now, like people are like just for the sake of understanding, they are simply sitting with all their other works. That time under
Yes.
like very systematic study.
Yes. Yes. So the teaching that is going to happen, I can just take another example before I get to that conclusive statement. Uh, right now, in today's society, if you have a class and you make a PowerPoint presentation, people like it more, right?
Mm-hmm.
People want visual, people want to be, more attractive. But, long back, there was no PowerPoint presentation, right? So time had changed. Then the environment or technology that we use, that has changed. The audience has changed. So there are so many changes. They say that time, place, and circumstances, right? Everything has, changed. When India was under the, jurisdiction of British government, at that time, saying something, giving some example that can pertain to that situation would make more impact than saying something where people are independent, right? So as things are changing, you know, in America, Mataji said knowing your audience. In US, you cannot preach in same way, the way you can preach in India or some other part of the world. So your preaching style has to change. What does it mean? The analogy that you take, the example that you give, right? And the way you present, that has to basically communicate the contemporary situation. It has to mingle. It has to blend with what's going on, right?
Yes,
Is that true or not?
true, bro.
Yes. So now if you go back, let's look at from relevance perspective. Srila Prabhupada, his preaching was to the whole world, right?
Yeah.
Right. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he preached to that group of people who were under Mughal, under the Mughal government, Muslim, and other people were kind of conquering over India, and there was still some knowledge, but it was not fully, diluted. So both of them had different circumstances. So they said the same thing, but the way they said was more contemporary. Is it clear so far?
Yes, bro.
Divya Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
So the preaching that is being done, the commentary that is being done has to be relevant to the time that we are in. Now, even in our society, there are a group of devotees who thinks that we should give the commentary on Bhagavatam and other, books, because they think that now society has changed, women rights, men rights, uh, more diverse acceptability has increased in the society. Overall diversity has been more, has become more acceptable in the society. So now say something, where women or transgender or gay or lesbian, they don't feel like that they are, being out. That is still being part of the the whole discussion, right? They don't feel like that they're left out, right? So as you can see, as time is evolving, the needs are changing. I'm sure that after 60, 50 years down to line, when even I will be older, maybe not here on this planet, right? Somebody will be, saying, maybe Rukmini will say that Ramacharya Prabhu was very good. He's no longer with us. Please, please pray for the, his. You don't know, right? 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 Oh, I spent a lot of time in his my childhood with him. I played with him. Here is my memory picture. Like it did, right? Neha will say something or Ratan will say something, and right? That's what it is, right, Mataji? There was some time that we were young. Now they are baby. They will be taking our spot, and we'll be, And at that time, maybe artificial intelligence will be all over the place. My daughter, Neha, she always tells me that we don't know how much artificial intelligence is coming and taking over. Soon, uh, many jobs will, basically get lost. People will lose jobs because many things, artificial intelligence, machineries can do, and all of that thing can do. So society has changed, in just being 50 years old as I'm now, I can see that changes has really been too many. And I don't know, by the time I leave the body, things will change. So our acharyas have always made their present relevant to the time, 50 years down to line, if they are citing about artificial intelligence in their purport, one should not think that it's different than 50 years back when they were citing about, or 100 years back when they were citing about, Chand Kaji coming and breaking the Mirdanga or doing something, because the context may change, the time may change, the circumstances may change, but at the end, the message that is being presented, that is not going to change. Okay, so relevance is one of the important factor, right, that may seemingly cause some differences. Okay, is it clear so far?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so the second factor is emphasis. Okay, and why I brought that you would hear that Prabhupada wanted to get the highest mileage out of his writing, because Prabhupada knew that he's pretty old now, and his audience at that time were not audience from the Vedic background. And when Prabhupada came in USA, at that time Osho was here too, right? So he was teaching people, that enjoy the life. He wrote a book that says that, enjoy your life. You don't have to follow rules and regulations. He was breaking everything, and Prabhupada was just teaching against of that. He was saying that, one woman, one wife, be loyal, sense control, regulatory principles. That's what Prabhupada was teaching. And on the other hand, there was personalities coming from India who were, you know, preaching something completely off. So Prabhupada had to convince people and get the maximum mileage out of his writing. And that's why you will see, and many times devotee says that Prabhu, when we read the translation, even if we are reading about Sakam Karma, we are reading about Niskam Karma, we are reading about Dhyan Yoga, Prabhupada is saying devotional service. Devotional service is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should be fully engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Why? Because Prabhupada wanted to again and again and again and again and again and again hammer and tell that all of these are subsidiary. Your prime goal is that you should engage. you should engage in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the other hand, Bhaskar Prabhu said that knowledge base, right? But when Vishwanath Thakur was on this planet, he has different audience to face, right? So might be he's not going dead against the Brahmanwadi or Mayavadi or the people who are, sense enjoyer and all of that, right? So his mileage was different. Prabhupada mileage was different. Okay. So emphasis, Prabhupada always emphasized whatever context he had, he always emphasized the importance of pure devotional service. Always emphasize on the importance of pure devotional service. But other acharyas, not from this sampradaya, maybe from different sampradaya, they can take maybe steps. Everybody is ultimately teaching the pure devotional service. Don't take it wrong. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita that wherever they are, they're looking for me, and ultimately they will come to me. I'll give them the path so that they can come to me. But maybe they are not taking one from no step to thousands step, right? Maybe they'll say that, okay, from no step, you come to 500 step. And then from 5 to 1000 step, like that, So that type of segmentation may happen. But ultimately, everybody has to go to that 1000 step. So in a localized context, maybe their emphasis will seemingly appear different, okay? But ultimately, on a very in a very comprised way, in a very comprehensive way, their goal is same. Okay, so sometimes you would see that type of differences too. And third one, it says prayana alpayushah sabya kalvi asmin yuge janah mand sumand matayo praya alpayushah kalvi asmin yuge janah mand sumand matayo mand bhag upadrito. So one of the demerit of the age of Kali, and that's the place where I'll stop and hear some more from you. One of the major disadvantage of Kali Yuga is that we so-called people of this society or this age, we think that we are advancing. There is technical advancement. There is iPhone now. There's a lot of advancement, and what that advancement is doing is that distracting. It's creating more distraction. Manda sumanda, matayo. Matayo means intelligence. Sumanda means dull. So manda sumanda matayo, they are getting dull and dull, lazier and lazier, and upadrito, always disturbed. How to know they are always disturbed? I can tell you. Right now, there is election going on in India. And there are so many commentaries, so many, this leader said that, this leader said that, this leader said. If one tries to pay attention, whole day will be tired, What I do, I don't even touch the phone, leave it aside, I have time, I'll just go look at it. And before that, it's just there. So even on the elevator, I see 4 people and they are looking at the phone. So it's causing a lot of, distraction. It's a lot of anxiety. So many things we are worrying about. People are losing their, health, right? So overall, richness or wellness of the people is going down, right? So acharyas, knowing that, they're going to depart teaching for those type of personality, right? They're not going to write something, like we just saw, using Sanskrit word or using some technical terminology. Rather, they would clear it. They will say what is the explanation of particular term, right? Knowing that people do not have that intelligence, they are disturbed. They don't want to spend time. So you have snap of time, and in that snap of time, you want to catch their attention, right? They say that uh, you don't have much time and you have to find your customer. So what you say that will attract them, so that they would like to hear more from you. Okay, say up front whatever is the best that you have to offer. And if they are fine with what you have to offer, the best, then you go from there. So in order for you to engage your discussion, you have to know what they are looking for. Okay, so these are the three factors so far that we went through. Relevance, how relevant the message is for the community, for the time, circumstances, and audience. That's number one. Number two, we talked about the emphasis. What has to be emphasized at that particular segment of time. Okay, and Prabhu said very nicely that the knowledge base is changing. Okay, 100 years back, the knowledge base was different. Now it's different. And then also we have to know that as Kali Yuga is progressing, people are going to have short memory. They're going to have short life. They are going to be lazy. They're going to have dull intelligence, and they'll be always disturbed. So how to say to captivate their attention? Because acharyas always want to work for the welfare of the mankind, for the society. So they always want to give, right? And then how they can give, they can, plan for it. So these are the three factors we talked about. We'll continue the remaining in next class, but I would like to hear anything that we have talked so far. Any questions, any doubt, any concern, any confusion? Bhaskar Prabhu, is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
You want to add something?
The only thing is because the acharyas, like a different acharyas have like different way of explaining things, even though it is coming from directly from the knowledge coming from Krishna, right? That's the only thing I'm thinking about it, like why there like much difference. I'm not
So
talking about
that's
like
what we'll do. We'll talk later that they are not different. They're not different. That's why we are giving these factors. That's why we are going through this, a relevancy, emphasis, and then knowing the people of that time. Because the relevancy for Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Prabhupada was different. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to make. The difference that you are seeing seemingly are the differences for time, for the audience that they had, and for the circumstances, environment that they had around. So these are the differences, and these are the factors that they had to tackle too. So if you are saying something for the people who are in the artificial intelligence age, you have to say different than what you say when people were not even knowing about artificial intelligence, or society has nothing to do with the phone or iPhone, nothing like that, right? So these differences are really, and we'll summarize that, we'll summarize that. But these factors are giving us the understanding that what is the cause of seemingly difference that we see as it appears just by looking at it, that it looks different, but really it's not different. An example I gave is that's the message being communicated through those verses, but the way it's being presented is slightly different. And when we go and study Bhagavad Gita, then I will basically have a slide where I will have commentary of Srila Prabhupada, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Baldevi Devbhushan, and then we'll try to understand all these three commentaries separately, and then I'll ask you the same questions. Prabhu, what do you find? And I will say that yes, the message is same, but the way it's being presented is different. And that's what basically I think Divya Mataji said, that goal, the essence will remain the same, but the wording might look a little different. And that difference is not saying different thing, saying the same thing. But like for example, say that In US English, they spell color as COLOR, right? And in British, English, they use CALOER, right?
Yeah.
But it's same color, something like that.
Mhm.
This is one of the simpler analogy that I can take.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Acharya in case of ISKCON Acharyas, the other Sampradaya Acharya.
Oh, well, that's very good point. I have slide on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. That's
That's
what I was.
very good point.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that.
Okay, bro.
We'll talk about that. There, for example, Madhvacharya has also, given his nine truth. What is his ninth truth? But yes, but we'll understand that aspect also. That's a very good point. You are thinking ahead. That's very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why, so you are trying to say why, the same verse, Brahmada Gora Sampradaya will understand like that. Ramanuja Sampradaya, Madhvacharya or Ramanujacharya Sampradaya will say like that. Sankaracharya's followers will say like that, right?
Yes.
That's very good question. Thank you for thinking like that. And we'll understand that also. And by that understanding, we'll have respect. We'll understand that yes, they did great. We should have all of these acharyas. They are very powerful personality. Very Sankaracharya. Oh my gosh, Lord Shiva himself. He is, he's very close associates of Supreme Lord. So he's going to do what Supreme Lord's desire is. But again, as acharyas are customizing time, place, circumstances, and audience, likewise these acharyas have customized, the system, so that living being can finally get into the process of having some faith. They say that if you find a group of people who do not have faith, your first goal is to give them faith. Okay.
Yeah.
If you find a group of people who have faith, then your goal is to give them knowledge. So a person or a group of people who do not have faith, you should not give them the knowledge. 9 offense of holy name is that it is also offense to share faithless person about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or of the holy name, right? So it has to be gradual. You are right. Yes. So if there is no faith, and then you start creating and talking about the creation of the material world as it mentioned in second and third canto, that there was Pradhan, and then there was, Mahatattva, and then Ahankar, and then gross element came, subtle element came, Adi Deva, Adi Bhautik. They'll say, what is all of this? I don't even believe in this. I don't even believe there is something called Pradhan. They'll say that human being came from microbe, because the source of the life is micro. Soil, earth is the source of the life. Biotechnologists will say, microbiologists will say. So those microbe, they became more susceptible, and they made themselves more restrained or resistant against the environment that they had to deal with, and that's why slowly it evolved. Different, Big Bang theory, somebody will say. So the different, So if somebody does not have, if somebody is believing that creation happens from Big Bang theory, right? You go to that person and I start saying there is Pradhan, there is Mahatattva, the Krishna, glances over that as Karnadakshai Vishnu, then that impregnates, and that impregnations Kal and Jiva. What is all of this? I don't have anything to do with it, right? So yes, so that's what our acharyas did, where there was no faith, give them some faith. If there is some faith, give them some knowledge. If there is some knowledge, then understand up to what extent they can understand, So pure devotional service is definitely a very confidential and very powerful subject that is being given to the age of Kali Yuga, in the age of Kali Yuga, or the people of Kali Yuga age. They are given the Golok Prema. This is like, really, giving something extremely powerful to somebody who is unqualified. But that's why Mahaprabhu came and Nityananda Prabhu came, right? So that's different concept that we have to understand. But again, the order will stay the same, right? They, acharyas can do that. When we say that Prabhupada has maximum mileage, yes, Prabhupada maximum mileage means what? Giving something supremely powerful to somebody who has no qualification. So how you say that, how you do that, right? Acharyas can do that. So yes, they came and they did do something which was aligned with the plan of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all of these acharyas from any sampradaya are very respectful. We should have due respect and never say anything. Be very respectful and understand where they're coming from, why they did the way they did, but follow what your acharyas have asked you to do. Have respect for everything, but be very sincere follower of what you have to follow. What mood and mission you are aligned to. Anything else? But that's good thought process. I appreciate that you are thinking like that. That means you are seeing ahead, and we'll have some information on that too.
Yes, Prabhu.
Divya Mataji, anything?
No, Prabhuji, thank you.
We're good so far.
Yes.
You were saying something, Bhaskar Prabhu?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Prabhu, I'm good.
Yeah, Mataji.
No, Prabhuji, I was just thinking once we start that Bhagavad Gita, like whatever book we start, like I was requesting you, like if you share in advance what will be taught in the class. That way, at least for me, I will read before I come to
So
the
you
class.
have right after this, I think we are going to study Nectar of Devotion. So do you have Nectar of Devotion?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nectar of Devotion is summary of Bhakti Samrita Sindhu by His Divine Grace Prabhupada. So we'll get into Nectar of Devotions. If you like to read,
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to really right now do anything about this as it is. Just come on the class and try to understand whatever discussion is going on and understand the concept a little bit. Nothing, you have to do for the exam. But if you want some additional reading, you can start reading Nectar of Devotion.
Okay. Sure, Prabhuji.
I think this is the book we are going to take next. What else? Kalavatri Radha Mataji almost is done half with Bhagavad Gita, so she is ahead.
Very nice.
Mataji, do you have anything that you would like to correct, share?
No, Prabhu, it's nice that we are learning from you. You're giving so much detail. So
You know
You
everything.
should share what is good habits to make sure that we are on track. Like
just
our
being in Prabhu's association is
uniform.
really good, Mataji. He
Ah,
encourages and he's like, he keeps everybody, all of us on track.
no, Mataji, that's your kindness. You always appreciate me.
Mm.
You always see good quality in Mataji. That's good. I learned that from you. Thank you so much. Satyanarayan Prabhu, you have anything?
No, Prabhuji, thank you. No, it was a good, Prabhuji. It was a good topic. Always I was thinking about acharyas, and I keep seeing the adjectives and why it is as it is. Always, but
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll go briefly. We cannot really go in details of everything, but we'll try to understand a little bit. I mean, that much understanding would be sufficient. Whatever we'll get out of this discussion would be sufficient to see some of the differences. And also the goal is to have respect for our acharyas, respect for our acharyas and acharyas of other sampradaya too.
Yeah.
We should not be saying anything about those big personalities. Although we are worshipper of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we should not be saying anything about Lord Ganesha or Lord, Shiva or any. They are, oh my gosh, who they are, we don't even know. We don't even know who we are. We are completely lost, Just ordinary human being, trying to follow, even we are not doing that very seriously, and then making big statement, not good. Always stay in your boundary, be focused on what you have to focus on. So with that, I would like to adjourn. पंचकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैवश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Assemble Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. I'll
Thank
see
you.
you next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Dandot Mataji. Hari Hari.
Dandavats, Prabhu. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Hari. Dandot Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you,
Hari
Prabhu.
Bol Prabhuji. Dandot Hare Krishna.